My niche as a travel agent is group trips, and one question I get all the time is, how do I do what you do? I want to start hosting group trips. I want to get paid to go on epic itineraries with cool people. I want to go to these cool places for free. Well, first, let me just slow your roll and say that there is no such thing as a free trip because I am always working. Is it amazing? Yes, but I wanted to just save you time if you thought that hosting a trip is just having a great time and getting a vacation for free. It's not. There's always a lot of work involved, whether it's actually on the ground, hosting people, coordinating things, and communicating with everyone, or just the marketing and leading up to the trip, depending on the model you choose. Now, the next part is once you decide that, okay, I actually am willing to do a little bit of work and get into this, I'm interested, you have to pick your path. And that is what we're talking about today. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 ways that you can start hosting group trips. Let's go. Hi, by the way, quick introduction before we dive in. My name is Brittany. I've been working in the travel industry since 2017. I first started as a travel blogger. I built a community of several thousand teachers, and it was such an awesome community that they said, why don't we travel together? And I said, okay, that sounds fun. How do I do that? So that has been the whole journey, is me figuring out which way did I want to go. And honestly, even though this is my niche, even though I host several group trips a year, it's something I'm always working on and tweaking and refining. That's why I say this isn't something you do if you just want a free trip, okay? Even though it's definitely sold that way, I just want to make sure I'm super real with you that this is work. Is it fun work? Yes. Is it pretty unbelievable work? Yes. It's pretty amazing. I've been to some really cool places on group trips. I've sailed the islands in Greece. I've sailed islands in Croatia. I've traveled through Ireland. I've been to Puerto Rico, and I've learned a lot. So I'm hoping to compress all my years of experience into this short video for you so you can at least pick the path you want to start so I can save you hopefully tens of thousands of dollars. Let's get into it. There are 3 main paths you can pick. The first one is becoming a tour operator yourself, which means you actually start your very own company from scratch and you become a tour operator. You might be the tour guide yourself for the first few years, but then eventually you'll probably want to hire guides that are either in country, like maybe in the place that you're wanting to go to, you hire guides there, or you might hire guides that actually go to the country, either with the people that are in your group or to meet up with the people in your group. Now, there are definitely advantages to doing this, and I have so many friends in the travel industry who have decided to become tourpreneurs. The first really big plus is that you get to create your own itinerary from scratch. Now, this becomes a con quickly, and I'll talk about why, but this is really appealing for people who they're drawn to a particular destination, region of the world, type of travel, or type of traveler, and they have something that maybe the reason people are following them is because they do go off the beaten path. It's because they do travel in a unique way. Maybe you're a van lifer and you have other people who want to experience van life for a week, and so you were thinking, hey, wouldn't it be cool to get like 10 vans and rent them out and then charge people that and then a little bit extra for your time and like let them try it out for a week? That's a really cool trip. I should do that. You have to think about what makes sense for you and your niche. I will say typically when people are thinking about hosting a group trip, it's either because one, they've built an audience and a following. Maybe you're a travel blogger, YouTuber, content creator, influencer, and you're thinking, I want to bring these people with me. Or you're on the other end of like, I don't have any of that going on, but just going to these places sounds really cool. And like, how do I get into that? There's no wrong way, by the way. That's why I'm covering all this with you so you can decide what works. Creating your own itinerary though can be a really big time suck, okay? I actually love connecting people out of country to in-country operators, to small businesses. I love hiring local tour guides in the destinations where I go. I love supporting local economies that way. But the hard part about this is it takes a lot of time. It takes weeks, sometimes months of planning, especially if you're creating an itinerary of a place you've only been to once, twice, or a few times. Even if you know the place really well that you're planning tours in. And I should also specify here, there are 2 types of tours. There are inbound tours, which means you live in a place and people are coming to that place and then they're booking a tour with you. Usually these are like those day tours that you see on Viator or Get Your Guide. And then you also have outbound tour operators. These are typically the tours that last multiple days. You're all sleeping in the same hotels, hostels, you're doing activities together, so on. So that's another consideration is, do I want to manage all that myself? And that is actually one big reason I usually tell people, don't become a tour operator unless that's something you really want to do, because it really is its own beast. You have a lot of risk and liability, and that's one big con. Yes, you get the flexibility and you can potentially make a lot of money, which is great because you get to charge as much as you want as long as you cover your costs, but all the risk is on you because you are accepting the money on behalf of the tour company. Now, you should have your business account set up and all that, but I'm saying that people are paying you and expecting you and your company and your brand to deliver, and that can be a lot of pressure. So if you are looking looking to start hosting group trips as like a fun way to travel more and make money, starting a tour company might not be for you unless you are really wanting to make this a whole proper business. However, if you do want to have a full-scale travel business and you want to be in full control of the brand, the experience, the suppliers and vendors you work with, either in your own city, home country, or in the countries that you want to go, then it could be great. And I'll be sure to link a course I really love and recommend by a creator I really admire down in the description so you can go check that out. It's very affordable, so if you're still in the exploratory phase, that'll be perfect for you. The number 2 option, which is very, very popular with bloggers, creators, influencers, etc., is partnering with a company or a brand. And within this, there's actually a few options here because there's like 3 paths you could do within that, like paths within paths. You could partner with a tour operator directly, like Intrepid, like G Adventures, and you can say, hey, I have a big audience. I'm pretty sure that wherever I go, they're going to want to come with me. What could you do for me? And you can see if you can negotiate a direct affiliate commission so that for however many people you take on a trip, you get 1 or 2 free spots and then you get X percentage commission. Now, asterisk here, be sure you read your contracts carefully. I have seen people get into really sticky situations because they were technically acting as a tour operator, even though the tour company was collecting the money because of the way that the agreements read. So make sure you know exactly what is your responsibility, what is the tour company's, if you do decide to go this route. And by the way, if you are going to go this route, or if you're interested in what I just said, you should hang tight for this video because the last option is going to be even better. So if 10% of a trip, which just to give you perspective, let's say a trip is $2,500, $3,500, if $250 per trip sounds good, you're going to love option 3. So stick around. So within option 2, partnering with a company or brand, you could partner directly with a tour operator like G Adventures, like Intrepid, or you could partner with a travel agent. So if you don't want to be a travel agent yourself, but you have a friend who is a travel agent, and if you don't know any travel agents, I have some who would love to partner with you, especially if you have an audience or a community who wants to go traveling with you. That's an option too. You could say, I don't really want to book this travel, but I would be willing to work with someone who will do all that for me. And then I just get to go and be the tourist and be the vibe, the host, the good time. I know agents would be excited to meet you, and you can always send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven. If that's you, just message me and say, hey, I watched your 3 ways to host group trips video. I'm interested in path number 2. Do you have any travel agents I could connect with? And I'd be happy to connect you with someone. And the cool thing is I know at least 100 travel agents personally with all varying niches. If you tell me, I want to host a group trip where we hike the Camino de Santiago in Spain, or I want to do a cruise in the Bahamas, you tell me what you want, I can connect you to the right person. So you can connect with a tour operator directly, you can connect with a travel agent and partner with them, or you can actually hire out a service that kind of acts like both. I have seen so many pop up like this. Trova Trips is one of them. Now, I really do implore you that if this is interesting to you, if what I'm about to say is interesting to you, still stick around for number 3 because I'm telling you that option is better for you. But if you just want to go on the trip and you don't really care how much money you make, you would just be happy if your flight was covered and you got to go on a free trip, then you might want to look into a company like Trova Trip or Join My Trip because they offer this as a service. They essentially act as a tour operator, as a travel agent. They connect you with an itinerary that you're available for and eligible for, depending on your audience, your standing with them, all that. And then they set up a lot of it. They often take the payments, so you don't have to do any of the payment part and you really don't have much of the risk, but you are responsible for getting X amount of people on the trip. And this can be great if you have a large audience or an audience that's engaged. However, it can be stressful if you don't meet your minimums and then you have to pay back some of the money that you maybe borrowed to pay for your flight. So that's something to consider. But if you're willing to take that amount of risk, because it's a personal risk versus risking $50,000 as a tour operator, that's something to consider. So this is like option 4 in path 2. If you are willing to partner with someone, but you don't want to start a business yourself, you can also go work for one of these people. You could see if an organization like G Adventures, Intrepid, all these really cool companies are hiring seasonal guides. If you're like, I just want to make some spending money, work seasonally, go to a cool place and travel, go see if you can be a guide. I did seasonal jobs throughout my 20s, not really guiding, but I've done work like that. And it can be really cool for like a summer or 2. So that's something you can look into as well. I will say if you're going to go that route, it is a completely different ball game. You have to have a unique set of skills. You have to be usually in pretty good shape. You have to have like either first aid, CPR, wilderness first aid, sometimes WFR. So look into what you have and what you need. And also the destination will depend on that. So for example, if you're leading and hosting trips in the backcountry of the Alaskan wilderness, that's going to be different than hosting a multi-day trip where you go through different cities by train in Europe. Choice 2, pathway 2 though, is really great if you are an influencer, content creator, you're not really interested in building your own brand or company in travel, or your thing is completely separate from what you want to do. So maybe you have a brand about a certain place or type of travel, but you really just want to go on this other trip for fun, then this path might be good for you. Now, in my opinion, and this is my educated opinion, so it's not just what I think, I really do think that the path 3 is the best option, and that is becoming the travel agent yourself. And here's why. If you are interested in path 1, where you're like, I'm willing to have my own business, but I don't want all of the risk of becoming a tour operator, being a travel agent is perfect because you have a layer of protection with the host agency through which you would become an agent, and you get to work really closely with tour operators that you really like and admire, with itineraries and destinations that you love, and you can host group trips through those tour operators. And the nice combination is with path 2, where you would have worked with a tour operator more directly and maybe earned 10% of a commission on the high end, you can sometimes earn up to 20 to 25% of the total. Now that's also split with the agency, but let's just say conservatively your end is 18%. That's still almost double what you would have made partnering with them more directly, but you also have all of the insurance and protection and less risk because you have the extra layer of going through the host agency. So it's you as an individual working with the host agency, partnering with the tour operator. So technically it's the agency partnering with the tour operator, not you directly. So when you're working with them directly, you don't have that middle protection. You have to have stronger contracts. You have to have more negotiation. You'll likely have to talk with the lawyer. If you're just the travel agent and you're an independent contractor, you already have a contract with the agency that often protects you. So I'm a big fan for that reason. I'm also a big fan because you make more money, right? Like I just mentioned, the commissions are higher and you get more options. So if one company doesn't have what you like, you can shop around and go look for others. I'm planning a European river cruise through the Christmas markets this upcoming December, and I have a couple of different suppliers that I'm looking at. I'm not saying I'm pitting them against each other, but a good business person likes to consider their options. So they're doing that, right? They're going back and forth between their options and finding the best one. When you're a travel agent, you get to do that and you get to pick the best itinerary, the best supplier based on your needs. And if you're wanting to start a business that actually pays you full time, but doesn't hold all of the risk of you putting in your personal money like a tour company does, it's great because you can book other things too besides group trips. So if you're looking into side hustles or into different careers in general in travel, I really recommend being a travel agent because you get to try different things. If you want to host group trips, you can. If you just want to book hotels or cruises or all-inclusives for people or do both, you can. You get a lot more flexibility as a travel agent. This is best for someone who wants to have the best of both worlds. And the cool thing is, if you already have the audience or the content built up on a YouTube channel, on social media, on a blog, and so on, then you've already won half of the game, right? Because you've already figured out what your niche and your specialty is. Now you just get to offer this as a service. So how are you feeling? Which path is most appealing to you? Let me know down in the comments. Are you path 1, where you're thinking about starting your own tour company? Number 2, you're interested in partnering with a travel agent or with a tour company directly? Or number 3, do you want to become a travel agent yourself? Let me know in the comments or ask your questions below. Or if you'd rather ask me a question personally, you can send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven. And if you are interested in becoming a travel agent, I also have a bonus free training that you'll love. It walks you through exactly how you book travel and actually earn money from it. It's free and only like 20 minutes, so very doable. You can find that link here on my YouTube channel and also down in the video description. Thank you so much for being here. If you found this helpful, go ahead and like this video so YouTube shows it to more people that are looking for this information. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and click that little bell so you never miss notifications of when a new video is posted. Thanks so much for coming. Bye.